Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really jumping into something that might just change how you see things. Every interaction, maybe even every decision you make. We're talking about human nature, something we all deal with constantly. But, well, maybe not through the lens of someone like Andrew Bustamante. He's a former CIA officer. So our mission today for this deep dive is to really get into his ideas. They're pretty radical, honestly, about how information actually works in the world. And maybe more importantly, how understanding this stuff can give you, a real advantage in your own life. So get ready to kind of challenge what you think about honesty, trust, even leverage.
Yeah, this should be a really interesting conversation. We're excited to get into it with you. Okay, so let's dive straight in. The very first big concept Bustamante puts out there is, well, it's simple, but also kind of huge. Secrets aren't weird or unusual. They're just a fact, like gravity. He says it very plainly, and this is a direct quote. Other people have secrets, and they will always have secrets. And he's not saying this to be negative or cynical. It's just objective reality. It just is.
Exactly. And, recognizing that is really the starting point, accepting it. It isn't about becoming distrustful or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, Bustamante argues it's more about setting yourself up strategically for what he calls a predictable, much more successful future. Think about it. If you actually accept that this is how people operate, that secrets are always there, then you can start using certain behaviors, ways of interacting that help you gain more valuable information, more secrets than you give away. But this applies everywhere, right? Family stuff, your career, making big business moves, which leads right into his main idea, the economy of secrets.
The economy of secrets. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really powerful way to think about it. He draws this direct parallel to, regular economics. Secrets are like a valuable resource. There's only so much out there. The supply is limited.
But everyone wants some infinite demand.
Infinite demand. Exactly. He says gaining secrets is the same thing as gaining wealth or gaining power or gaining leverage. It's like currency. And people, companies, even governments are always after this currency. We're not just talking spy stuff either. It's personal secrets, business trade secrets, geopolitical intel, economic data, financial info. The demand is just endless.
Okay, this next part is where I found it got really interesting because he takes on something we're all, basically raised on, the idea of fairness. I mean, since we are kids, right? Share your toys, wait your turn, be fair. But he talks about how his stepdad always told him life isn't fair. It's this direct clash with, school lessons.
It is a huge clash. And his CIA training really brought that into sharp focus for him. He came to see that fairness is a construct.
A construct.
Yeah, like a tool, something society uses that helps to create predictability in human behavior. It's not some fundamental truth of the universe. It's used to, as he puts it, predict and control a society in the long term. If everyone believes things are fair, or should be fair, they're less likely to challenge the system or try to get ahead in certain ways.
Wow. So believing in fairness actually holds people back.
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
He argues it actually reduces the number of competitors for real power, for that valuable information, for leverage. Because if most people assume a level playing field, they don't really compete aggressively for an edge. It kind of limits the real competition to a limited few who see the world differently, who recognize it's not inherently fair.
And the CIA used this?
That's what he says. They were trained to exploit this belief. They look for people who maybe had that little bit of doubt, who inherently doubted that everything was in fact fair. Those people were seen as potentially more influenceable.
Okay, so if we accept this reality, what does it mean for us day to day? Because obviously not all secrets are the same. Some are worth way more than others, right?
Absolutely. Critical point. Some secrets are, trivial, and others could change everything. Bustamante explains this using the CIA's own system for classifying secrets. It's all based on how much damage would occur if the secret got out.
Right, like confidential, secret, top secret.
Exactly, those three tiers. Confidential is the lowest its release could potentially do damage.
Yeah.
Then you have secret, its release would cause damage. And the highest is top secret, where disclosure would cause grave damage to national security.
Okay.
Now, think about applying that same logic to your own life, your personal secrets, career secrets, business secrets. A confidential secret might be, maybe you're thinking about moving next year. No big deal if someone finds out early, but you'd rather keep it quiet for now.
Okay.
A secret level might be that you've actually put an offer on a house in another town.
Yeah.
That getting out would cause some complications, maybe at work or with family.
Right, definitely more damaging.
And top secret. Maybe you're involved in confidential negotiations for a business merger that could make or break your company. If that leaks, it's grave damage. So the principle is, the secrets with more damaging outcomes are the secrets you want to keep and the secrets you want to gain. Understanding this hierarchy helps you know what information you absolutely must protect.
That makes sense. So if secret's all this currency, how do we actually guard our own? How do we stop ourselves from just spilling the beans when we shouldn't? We've all done it, right? Get excited or comfortable and just talk too much.
Oh, absolutely. It happens easily. But Bustamante offers 2 key strategies to prevent that. The first one is pretty fundamental. Limit how much you talk. And when you do talk, try to speak more in questions.
Speak in questions.
Yeah. Think about it, just your tone, how fast you talk, how excited you sound. That can give away interpersonal secrets. What you believe politically, how you feel about your family, your job, all sorts of things. Asking questions shifts the focus. You become the one gathering information, not the one broadcasting it. You control the flow much better.
Interesting. Less broadcasting, more receiving.
Exactly. And the second strategy is about withholding suspicions or conclusions. Meaning, let's say you get a weird vibe from someone. You suspect they aren't being totally honest, or maybe something shady is happening at work. Instead of immediately sharing that suspicion, hey, do you think Bob is lying? Or something feels off about this project, you keep it completely to yourself, at least initially.
Okay, just hold on to it.
Right. Bustamante advises, allow time to continue to pass by to give yourself more information. Let more evidence accumulate before you jump to or share a conclusion. There's real power in waiting for what he calls a preponderance of evidence, especially if it's something serious, like catching someone in a lie or suspecting embezzlement. If you reveal your suspicion too early with too little proof, you often lose any leverage you might have had.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Patience and proof. So now, the other side of the coin. How do we get those valuable secrets from other people, preferably without them knowing we're even trying? This definitely sounds like spy stuff.
It really is the core of intelligence work. The term Bustamante uses is elicitation.
Elicitation.
Yeah, and he defines it simply as extracting specific information from someone without them realizing you are actively trying to obtain it. Think about a common scenario, like meeting someone new.
Yeah.
Maybe you're subtly trying to figure out if they're single. You don't ask directly, right? You chat, you observe, maybe look for a ring, listen to how they talk about their weekends. That's a basic form of elicitation.
Ah, okay. Got it.
And the whole goal in the CIA, their definition of intelligence, isn't about being smart. It's about achieving information superiority.
Information superiority.
Meaning having the best and highest quantity of information compared to our competitors. Elicitation is how you get there. And the single most powerful tool for elicitation is asking open questions.
Open questions, like not yes-no questions.
Exactly. Questions that can't just be answered with one word. They often start with how, why, to what extent, or phrases like, tell me about. The genius here is that these questions force the other person to think, to interpret the question through their own psychology, their own perception, their own lens of beliefs and biases.
So they have to reveal more of themselves to answer.
Precisely. They almost can't help but share much more information than they intended to share. And what comes out? Their secret opinions, their secret thoughts, their secret biases, their secret feelings. It comes out verbally, sure, but also non-verbally. You watch their face, their body language. You're gathering intelligence on multiple levels, often without them having a clue.
Wow. That's subtle but powerful. Okay, so secrets are currency. Protect yours, gain others. But what about trading them? You mentioned the economy analogy, so trading fits. But it sounds risky, doesn't it? How do you trade smartly?
It is like a barter system, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, there's risk. The main goal always is to trade in a way that you end up with secrets that are more valuable than the ones you gave away. This is where understanding the shelf life of a secret is crucial.
Shelf life, like how long it stays valuable.
Exactly. Ideally, the secrets you trade away are ones with a short shelf life. Information whose values are decreasing, secrets that are, as he puts it, destined to become known to the light of day. Pretty soon, anyway.
Like maybe some industry news that's about to break.
Perfect example. Or maybe some local gossip that'll be common knowledge by tomorrow. So the smart trade is giving away a secret with a fast half-life. Its value drops quickly in exchange for one with a slow half-life, something that stays valuable and relevant for much longer. Doing this builds goodwill, builds reciprocity, but you still maintain your information edge.
But there must be limits, right? Things you never trade.
Absolutely. A critical warning it gives. Never, ever trade or share secrets that could cause grave damage to you, to your goals, your ambitions, your security. Those top secret level personal secrets, they are off the table for trading. Period. That's the boundary.
Okay, that's a vital distinction. Guard the crown jewels. So, wrapping this all together, what's the big picture for us, for you listening? What's the main takeaway from this whole deep dive into how secrets work? It feels like we've peeled back a layer on reality.
It really does. And Bustamante lays out a stark choice, fundamentally. He says you can basically choose to live in a world that is not true and believe that people are honest, just take everyone at face value, or you can choose to live in a world that is factual and objective and recognize that all people are keeping secrets from you.
That sounds a bit bleak, maybe.
But it might sound bleak at first, but he argues the empowerment comes from accepting that second option, the objective reality. Because only when you accept it can you start applying behaviors, practices into your personal life, into your business life that make it so that you gain more secrets than you share. And that strategic approach, he contends, leads directly to more success with the outcomes you're trying to achieve.
And the flip side, ignoring it.
The flip side is vulnerability. If you believe secrets aren't valuable or aren't being kept, you essentially make yourself always be exploitable. People operating this way can be easily motivated to share your secrets, manipulated into sharing your secrets, tricked into sharing your secrets. You end up just giving away that valuable currency, the very thing you need to achieve the success, the ambition, and the outcomes you care about.
So ignorance isn't bliss here.
Definitely not. Now, it's also worth acknowledging, like Bustamante does, that constantly managing information, keeping secrets, it can be stressful. It can feel like walking an emotional tightrope, cause anxiety. Understanding your own reactions to this pressure is important too. Sometimes talking things through, maybe even with a professional, can help you manage that internal side of navigating this economy of secrets. It's part of the whole picture.
Absolutely. Wow. What a journey we've taken here. From questioning something as basic as fairness to learning actual techniques for managing information. It really seems like understanding this economy of secrets could be, well, a game changer in almost any area of life. Work, family, community, anywhere decisions and interactions happen. So maybe here's a final thought for you to take away and mull over. How might this perspective, this idea of information superiority, change how you approach your next big decision, your next important conversation? The real power maybe isn't just in what you know, but in what you protect and what you skillfully learn. If you found this deep dive as fascinating as we did, please do like this episode. We'd love to hear your biggest aha moment, so drop a comment. And definitely subscribe to the deep dive so you don't miss our future explorations. We're always digging into ideas to help you think a little differently, maybe live a little smarter. Thanks for joining us.